What is going on, people of the SmartHouse Society? Matt here from mksmarthouse.com, and in this video we're going to be covering the software for this, the Sonoff DIY Smart Plug. So the Sonoff Basic Smart Plug is a cheap DIY smart home device that I show you how to make, which means there will be 4 videos: demo, hardware, software, and deploy, which you can see right here. This is the 3rd video, the software video, where I show you how to flash the device with Tasmota firmware and how to connect it to OpenHAB and Home Assistant. Basically, if you didn't know, the Sonoff Smart Plug is a device that you can turn on and off anything that you plug into it. It works with Home Assistant, OpenHAB, Siri, Amazon Echo, and Google Home. For more info and to see it in action, you can check out the demo video, which is in the card right here. The brains of this device is the Sonoff Basic R2, which is a popular device in the smart home community. Another thing that's popular in the smart home community is PCBWAY. Those of you that don't know, PCBWAY is a company that makes prototyping very easy. They offer PCB prototyping, SMD stencil, and PCB assembly. And right now they are having their dazzling Christmas coupons. So I'm on PCBWAY's website right now. I'll leave a link in the description below. Not only does PCBWAY already have great prices for PCBs and everything that they do, but right now you can use any of these coupons, which are pretty good and can save you some money. So go ahead and check them out. They're also going to be giving away gifts to random people. So go ahead, check it out, link in the description below, and also you can use the cash code on the screen now to get $5 off your order. And I would like to thank PCBWAY for sponsoring this video and continuing their support of my channel. So what are the requirements for this video? Well, you're either going to need a OpenHAB server or a Home Assistant server. This works on both. And on each one of these, you need to have Mqtt up and running. But moving right along, what tools are we going to need? Well, you're going to need an Arduino of some kind. This can be an Uno or a Mega. This is going to be our serial to USB converter. And you're also going to need some jumper cables, which I've already attached, but I'll show you how to attach them later. You're also going to need a mobile device that is either iOS or Android. And lastly, you're obviously going to need a computer, which can be Mac or Windows. I won't be making separate videos on each one because it's very similar and you can easily figure it out. Links to all the parts and tools are on my website, which is in the description below. Also on my website, for your convenience, I have a kit with everything you need to make this device except for the extension cord part. I will leave a link to different extension cord options in the description below. I don't include the extension cord for 2 reasons. I ship worldwide, so yes, I ship to your country wherever you may live. And so second, you can choose whatever end type you want. So for example, you can have an extension cord at the end, you can have 3 sockets, 1 socket, all up to you, so you can provide your own extension cord. I don't have many available, so if you want one, go ahead and check it out now. I also have an assembled option where I'll put it all together for you, and so you can skip the other videos and go right to this one. And I also have an option where I can flash Tasmota firmware for you, so we can skip the next part in this video as well and go right to connecting it and setting it up with OpenHAB or Home Assistant. Also, if you get the assembled, you just have to connect your own extension cord ends. If you pick up a kit, you can follow along with all the videos. And again, you can go to mksmarthouse.com/shop and pick one up. And I have fast USA shipping. Speaking of links, follow at MK-SmartHouse on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, because that's where I post things when I'm not on the YouTube channel, as well as things that true smart home enthusiasts would appreciate. So right here, you will see everything we will be doing in this video, as well as the timestamps, so that way you can skip to whatever parts you need. I'm going to be doing everything in one video, so that way you have one central place to look for things. First thing we're going to be doing is talking about the giveaway that I'm going to be doing with this Sonoff device. Second, we're going to flash the Sonoff with Tasmota firmware. Then we're going to set up and connect the Sonoff to the Mqtt server of choice, which would be either OpenHAB or Home Assistant, depending on your installation. Then we're going to configure the device in OpenHAB, and lastly, configure the device in Home Assistant. So jump to whatever parts you may need. For example, if you bought an assembled with Tasmota, you don't need to watch how to flash the Tasmota. Instead, you just need to watch the setup and connect to the Mqtt server, and then either OpenHAB or Home Assistant. But either way, you do need to watch the setup to connect to your Mqtt server of choice, and you need to watch either the OpenHAB or Home Assistant. From now on, every device that I show you how to make, I will be giving away. So for example, right now we're going to be giving away the Sonoff Smart Switch. Not this one exactly, but one without the ends. And this is going to be a fully assembled, fully flashed with Tasmodo, so all you're going to need to do is provide your own ends. To enter the giveaway, it's really simple. Go to the link in the description below and it has all the details there. And there's multiple ways you can get entries, so you have a great chance of winning. So good luck to everyone that enters. But let's move on how to flash the Sonoff. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is head over to my website, link is in the description, and we want to go to the written guide for this video that I'm making. Then we want to head over to links, scroll down, and enter your email address. The reason I ask for an email address is if there's a future Tasmodo firmware that I like, then I'll go ahead and update it and let you know. Then just click download file, go to the download page, and click the green download button. Alright, it's downloaded. The next thing you're going to need is a program called Pi Flasher. It's called PY Flasher. And so if you don't have it, go ahead and go to this link and download it to your computer. It works on Windows and Mac. So now we're going to go ahead and open Pi Flasher. I have it down here in my dock because I use it so much. So next you want to click on the drop down, or remember what devices are in this list. Now we need to connect the Arduino to the Sonoff. So I'm going to move that around. Okay, so to get the Arduino situated, you want to first put a jumper in between reset and ground on the Arduino. Right there. Reset and ground. And now you just want to match them all up. So next thing we're going to do is 3.3 volts. Alright, so I've gone ahead and put this orange cable into 3.3 volts. Then I'm going to put it into the first pin of the Sonoff. So I've pulled up the pinout for your convenience, which is on the screen right now, and we're just going to match up the pins from the Arduino to the Sonoff. So I'm going to take this gray cable and put it from RX on the Arduino to the next pin on the Sonoff. Then I'm going to take this purple jumper, put it from TX and put it on the next pin on the Sonoff. And lastly, going to take this green one from ground and put it in the last pin. There you guys go. So basically you just need to match them all up. 3.3 to 3.3 on the Sonoff, etc. Now we're going to plug it into the computer. So I have the USB from the Arduino and then my computer right here. You can either hold down the button on the Sonoff itself, which I have right here, or you can hold down the button on the panel. I'm just going to hold the panel. And then you want to hold it and then plug it into the computer. So that way it goes into programming mode. All right, now we're back to the Pi Flasher. Click this little refresh button and go to the drop down and you should see a new device right here. Then you're going to browse for a new firmware, go to your downloads folder and click on the sonoff.bin file. Click open. You want to keep it 1152.00. Change it to dual output and yes, wipe all data and click flash. All right, it finished flashing, and now that it's done flashing, you can unplug it, unplug the Arduino and then plug it back in. You'll see it flash a little bit, but that's it. The Sonoff is flashed with Tasmodo firmware. Now we're going to go over and set it up using our mobile device. All right, at this point we are going to be setting up the Sonoff. Now, if you bought a pre-flashed Sonoff from my website or assembled, then you want to skip to my final or deploy video and watch how I connect the ends. So that would be like this. So in the deploy video, watch how I connect these and then jump back to this video on how to set it up because you're ahead. And then connect it to power. But if you didn't get it pre-flashed from my website, simply unplug and plug back in the USB. And you want to get it to where it is a green light. Okay, so once you have a green light, press the button on top 4 times. And it will start flashing. Now on your mobile device, I have my iPhone right here. Go into settings and then go to Wi-Fi. As you can see, a device called Sonoff 7226 came up. You're going to click on it, and then a portal should pop up. There we go. All right, now for AP1 SSID, you want to type in your 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi SSID. Actually, I forgot. You can click scan for Wi-Fi networks, and it'll scan, it'll find. So you want to click on your Wi-Fi, and then you want to type in the password. All right, and then at the bottom, you can change the host name. Make sure you remember what your host name is. So I'm going to call mine MK-Sonoff Basic 2, since I already have one Sonoff Basic, which is the one with the clear end. All right, and then just click save, and the device should restart over there, and the Wi-Fi network should disappear. All right, the Wi-Fi network has disappeared, so I'm going to end the screen recording, and we are done with using a mobile device. Now we're going to go over to a web browser, and you want to go to http:// and then you want to do the host name that you typed in at the bottom of when you set up the Sonoff. So I did mk-sonoff basic2.local and click enter. And there we go. The Tasmota firmware is up and running. Super simple, very easy to do. Okay, so now we're going to go to configuration, and then we're going to configure module, and you want to make sure the GPIO for sensor is set to relay 2. So this is so that way we can control the button right here on the lid. Click save. It'll restart the Sonoff. All right, so I'm going to go back to the main menu, and there we go. We have 2 toggles. I'm going to actually turn off the relay. And so if I click toggle 2, the ring on the button turns blue. And then we just turn it off. So this button is now, the ring is now MQTT controlled. Speaking of, let's now configure the MQTT. So go back into configuration, then go to configure MQTT, and then here you want to type in the host. So this can either be the host name of your OpenHAB server or your Home Assistant server, or if you have an external MQTT server. But for the purpose and make it easy, we're just going to say the host or the IP address of your OpenHAB server or Home Assistant. So I'm going to type in mine. Port, if you have a different port, you would know, but otherwise, let's leave it at default. Yep. Topic, I'm going to call it I'm going to make the topic Sonoff Basic. Since this is my second one, I'm going to make it 2. But if this was your first one, you can just leave it at Sonoff Basic 1. All right, and then click save. All right, so MQTT is now saved to your device. I'm going to go to main menu, and there we go. We're back to the main. So in theory, right now, the Sonoff Basic is all set up. But let's go ahead and test out the MQTT and make sure it works. So I have a program called mqtt.fx, and this is like an MQTT. You can send commands and you can receive commands. It basically taps into your MQTT server, and then you can see all the commands. If you want to see more detail about mqtt.fx, then check out my door sensor software video. It's in the beginning of my channel. I cover mqtt.fx, how to set it up, and all that. So all I'm going to do in mqtt.fx, make my broker address the IP address of either Home Assistant or OpenHAB. All this is fine. Click apply. I'm going to click cancel, and then I'm going to connect. It's green, so it's successfully connected. Then I'm going to subscribe so that way I can see and type in the pound symbol so I can see everything that goes in and out. So now if I press the power button on the Sonoff Basic, I'll see that the relay turned on and turned off. So it shows you everything that goes through. But if we want to turn on the relay, so to turn on the relay, you want to do command and then the topic that you typed in the MQTT settings when you set up the Sonoff. So mine is actually 2. And then you want to do /power. And this controls the relay. And then just type on, and you will see the light turns on, and if you heard it, a slight click, and that was the relay. Now, if we want to turn on the button, you just add a 2 to the end, and then click publish, and you can see the LED ring turned on. And you can reverse it by turning publishing off, and oh, it's just power, and there we go. They both turned off. So there we go. The Sonoff Basic is now connected to our Wi-Fi and to our MQTT. So at this point, you want to either watch the OpenHAB part or the Home Assistant part. All right, so now we're going to connect the Sonoff Basic device to OpenHAB. And to do this, we want to first go to Terminal and SSH into our OpenHAB server. All right, I've SSH'd into my OpenHABian or OpenHAB server. Going to put that off to the side. And so I recommend having my website open up right here. And then you want to go to software. Link is in the description below. And I recommend having it open so that way you can see all of this code and everything that you need to type in. So the first thing we want to do is go into the items file and create an item for both the button and the relay on the Sonoff. So we're just going to copy this right here. Type it in and press enter. Type in the admin password. So this is the items file. Now I'm going to scroll down, and as you can see, I already have one Sonoff Basic. That is the one with the clear plug. And so what I'm going to do is just simply copy this. But if this was your first one, then make sure you include this comment just so you can have some organization. And then I'm going to go below this one so you can see it right there. And then I'm going to change all the 1s to 2s. But if this is your first one and you're following exactly, then you can just keep it at 1s. All right, I've changed all the 1s to 2s in my second item. So as you can see, I have my first Sonoff Basic. So this is Christmas Lights 1. And then I have my second one, which is Christmas Lights 2. So let me explain a little bit of what everything is. So first, both of these are switch items. Then this is their item names. This one is not going to be seen in the user interfaces, so I didn't give it a nice little text, but I did for this one. So this one is Christmas Lights 1, this one is 2. You can change this to whatever one you want. Say you had it connected to a coffee maker, you can name it Coffee Maker. And then I gave it the image of a power outlet US. If you go to OpenHAB items, you can see all the different, go to OpenHAB icons, you can see all the different icon names that you can have. And then I gave each one a switchable tag so that way I can control it from either the Google Home or the Amazon Echo. And then here is the MQTT information. So we're using the MQTT binding. We are sending a command. And then this is the topic we're sending it to. This is the actual topic that you typed in when you set up the MQTT on the Sonoff. So remember when we called it Sonoff Basic 1? Or actually, no, we called it Sonoff Basic 2. So this is the part you would change if you wrote something else there. And then we have power. This is the relay, and power 2, which is the LED ring. Then the next part is where OpenHAB receives a command or the state of the item or the Sonoff Basic device. So if it works on a two-way basis. When you send a command, it expects a command back saying that it did indeed update. So you have some two-way communication. And which is why we have auto update false. So it won't change OpenHAB, the actual icon and the status, unless we receive a status back from the Sonoff. All right, that's it for the items file. So press Ctrl X, Y, and enter. Next, we're going to port the items into our sitemap so that way we can see it and interact with the button. So we're going to go back to here and copy this command. There we go. So this is my sitemap file. So we're going to copy this right here. We're only going to be importing the switch for the actual relay because that's what we're going to be controlling. We don't really need to control the LED. That'll be automatically done in our rules file. And because there's really no need to manually turn on and off the LED. And change the 1 to a 2. So here I said it's a switch item type. I put it in my demo frame because it's a seasonal thing. But maybe eventually I'll put it in like one of my rooms or something in a different frame. So I got Sonoff Basic 1 and Sonoff Basic 2, and each one of these are switches. So now press Ctrl X, Y, and enter. And you know what, let's go ahead and see how they look. I'm going to go to my interface, and I'm going to go to Basic UI because that's pretty easy to look at. And here we go, we got Christmas Lights 2 right here. There we go. See, it controls the LED light, which controls the relay. So now let's control this LED ring right here, as well as give it another rule where it'll automatically turn on and automatically turn off the entire device. So that way, say for example, I'm going to have this outside in my Christmas lights. So I want the Christmas lights to turn on at 5 and off at 11. So let me go ahead and show you how to do that. Whoops, I forgot to add it in here into the guide. I'll have it there before you guys see this video. But anyway, you want to go to your rules file. I'll update the command in the guide. All right, here is our rules file. And so as you can see, I have it for the first Sonoff, but I'm going to do it for the other one. All right, sorry guys about the webcam. I didn't notice that it went a little bit yellow on you. Anyway, so for the rules, I'm not going to do all of these because I already have these. So I'm just going to add on to it, but you'll see what I mean. But if this is your first Sonoff Basic, then make sure you have all of these, unless you don't want to automatically turn it on and off. But the one that you really do need is this one right here, the Sonoff LED button. So I'm going to put this at the bottom down here. And then I'm going to change all the 1s to 2s. All right, so what does this do exactly? So this detects if the switch in OpenHAB changed to on or off. And if it notices that it did change, then it will turn on and off the LED accordingly. So say in OpenHAB you turn on this switch. When you turn on this switch, then the blue LED ring will also turn on, and vice versa. If you turn off the switch, then this LED ring will turn off. So they will be synchronized. That's what this one does. Now this one right here, I'll move it over in the middle. Yeah, there we go. So what this Christmas lights on at 5 p.m., what this does is at 5 p.m., it will turn on Sonoff Basic 1, and at 11 p.m., it'll turn off Sonoff Basic 1. So I'm going to add on to it and control the second Sonoff as well. So I added onto it and I said to also turn on the Sonoff Basic 2 and turn off Sonoff Basic 2. So add on so it controls both Sonoff Basics. Now to change what time, then you want to go to a website called cronmaker.com. And then here, this is where you generate your cron expression, because this part right here, this is called a cron expression. This controls when it turns on and off. So say I wanted it every week, once a week on Tuesday and Thursday, and I wanted it at 1 o'clock. I'd click create cron expression, copy this part, and paste it in right here in between the two parentheses. All right, that's it. Now press Control X, Y, and enter. And now I'm also going to restart OpenHAB just so everything is saved and synchronized. All right, so now that I will put this restart command also in the guide. I forgot to put it in, but by the time you see this, it'll be down here. Anyway, so now that OpenHAB is restarted, let's go ahead and open it. Open back up the basic UI, and if we turn on the switch, both the relay turns on and the ring turns on. And the same thing, we can press the button, the ring turns off, and so does the relay. Bam. So there we go. The Sonoff Basic is now fully connected to OpenHAB, and we have a rule set in place where at 5 p.m. it'll turn it on, and at 11 p.m. it'll turn it off. So at this point, you are now fully set up. The Sonoff Basic is fully connected to OpenHAB. We also made a rule where it controls the LED ring, and it automatically turns on at 5 p.m. and off at 11 p.m. And I also showed you how to change it. So you can skip to the end of the video for the closing remarks and where to go from here. Okay, so now we are going to connect the Sonoff Basic to Home Assistant. The first thing you want to do is go to your Home Assistant IP address. Mine is right there. All right, once you're logged in, go to the menu on the side by clicking the 3 lines. Go to HAS.io, go to the configurator, and open the web UI. Log in, and click sign in. All right, once you're signed in, we're going to go to the configuration.yaml file, and then scroll down to the bottom. So as you can see, I already have the Sonoff Basic 1 stuff. So I recommend having my website open up to the guide. Link is in the description. You want to be on the software tab, and then you want to scroll down to where it says Home Assistant and the configuration.yaml file. And then you're simply just going to copy what's here and paste it in. So I'm going to put it underneath the 1. Bam. And now I'm going to change all the 1s to 2s since this is my second Sonoff Basic. My first Sonoff Basic was the one with the 3 plugs on the end, the clear one, which is my personal favorite one. Alright, so let me go over what we did. I'm going to go over the Sonoff Basic one since that's the one you guys are probably going to be doing. You're going to be doing your first one. So we're using the platform Mqtt, giving it the Light Christmas Light 1. You can change this to whatever you want, like coffee maker, if you have it plugged into like a coffee maker. This is the state topic, so this is if it's available, and because it goes on two-way communication. If you send a command, it expects a command back. And so this part right here, this is what we typed into the Sonoff Basic when we set it up, the MQTT settings. So you want to make sure that is the same thing as here. And same thing goes for all of these. All right, so this is where we send commands. This is if it's available to be sent or if it's online. That's what's cool about Home Assistant. You can see whether the device is online or not. We're going to be telling it when we turn on, we want to send on, and when we turn off, we want to send off. And then this is the LED. It's basically the same thing. Once that's all done, just click the Save button. Then we're going to go back into Home Assistant, go over to Configuration, and then we want to go to General and validate the config. All checks out. And now we're going to restart Home Assistant. All right, and then you want to go to the homes, that way you can see all of the items. And if I press the switch for Christmas Light 2, the LED turns on and a slight click comes from the relay. And if I click Christmas Light 2 LED, the ring on the cover comes on, or the button. But what we want to do is make it so when we turn on the device, then it also turns on the LED. So it'll be like our status indicator. So we need to create a rule for that, or an automation. So we're going to go to Configuration, then we're going to go to Automation. And as you can see, I have done this already for the first Sonoff Basic, and I'm just going to repeat it for the second one. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is turn on the LED. So we're going to click the plus button right here. So the first thing we have to do is name the automation. I'm going to call it Sonoff Basic 2 LED on. And then I'm going to say it's a state, and it's going to be the entity of, oh, there we go. And then you want to scroll down till you find Christmas Light 2, because it's going to be for the second Sonoff Basic. If this was the first one, you would say that it's your first one, so you would Sonoff Basic 1 LED and look for Christmas Light 1 or whatever you called it. And we are looking from off to on. And then we're going to scroll down to action and call service. And we're going to say automation.turn on, or no, my bad. Then we want to go to switch.turn on. And now we're going to need the service data. To find that, go back to your Home Assistant, open up a new tab and go to the main page again. Then you want to go to the developer tools, click on this little remote thing. And then you want to, for the service, you want to go to switch.turn on. And then you want to click on the entity, and we want the Christmas 2 LED. And there we go. So now just copy this, go back to your automation, and paste it in for service data. Once all of that is set, you just click the save button. And now you can go back. Now we need to do the same thing for off. So click on the plus, call it Sonoff Basic 2 LED off. We're going to do, make sure the trigger type is state. We're going to do entity Christmas Light 2 from on to off. And then we want to do these for the action. We want switch.turn off. And then you go back to the other tab that you had, and you want to do switch.turn off. Go back. We want to call the LED entity. Copy this. go back for the service data, paste it, and click save. All right, let's test it out. There we go. So when we press the button, the ring turns on, and so does the relay. Press the button, ring turns off, so does the relay. And we can even test it out from the actual homepage. So let's go ahead and turn on the Christmas light too. So what I did was I went ahead and I hid the LED for the Christmas light, and you can do the same. I hid the LED for the Christmas light 1. So to do that, you want to go to customization, and then you want to go to the Christmas light 2 LED, pick an attribute, hidden, hide from UI, click save. And then if we go back to the home, it's hidden. Just so that way it's a little bit cleaner. I also went ahead and hid all of these automations too. I hid the LED automations. All right, so one thing that I could not figure out how to do is how to have the Sonoff Basic turn on automatically at a certain time from Home Assistant. I'm still a little bit new to Home Assistant. This is one thing that I haven't touched too much with, which is the time automation. So this is what I have. I couldn't get it to work. Maybe you guys know how to get it to work. If you can, let me know in the comments below, and if so, I'll pin your comment so that way other people can see how to do it. But otherwise, that's it. We've connected the Sonoff Basic Smart Plug device to both OpenHAB and Home Assistant. So that's it. The device software is done. In the next video, we will talk all about the deploy and how to connect the ends and how I use it in the real world. In the description, you'll find links to all the parts and devices used in the video, as well as a link to mksmarthouse.com/shop, where I have a wide range of smart home kits you can put together, such as this one. All right, if you found this video helpful, click that like button. And if you're a smart home enthusiast, you belong on this channel. So hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below, or head over to the community forum at mksmarthouse.com/forum. Goodbye.
No.